this edition of Sightings, everyone loved Skipper Parker. That's why his murder was as shocking as it is mysterious. Now, a psychic may have information that can help solve this horrible crime.
He knew who did it.
How do sacred sites around the world help heal body and soul?
I got in more trouble than anyone could ever imagine.
It was called Project Blue Book, and it continues to raise more questions about UFOs than it answers.
I'd hate to think that Project Blue Book was the best we could do.
A controversy rages over whether computers should store the total output of the human mind.
Which would leave you with an 80-year-long home video.
And a look at the better angels of Andy Lakey's life.
Welcome to Sightings. I'm Tim White. A teenage life cut short, a senseless murder, no witnesses. It's a story told too often in the news. The names, the faces may change, but the family's grief and law enforcement's frustration never change. In North Carolina, where the brutal murder of Skipper Parker remains unsolved, his parents have vowed to try everything before they give up. Will it be a psychic detective who finally cracks the case?
It's very clear to me. I'm experiencing it right along with the victim. It's like a movie in my head.
The movie playing in Nancy Meyer's head right now is a true story. With the clarity and impact of a 70mm screen, Myers says she is seeing only what the killers have seen: the death of Skipper Parker.
You're haunted. Every moment that you live and breathe, all you can think about is how or why. How could this possibly happen to your child? You try to protect him and do everything you can to take care of that child. And then one moment, someone can just take that all away from you.
The how and why still elude police. Skipper was so loved, so innocent, and his death was so random.
It would appear that this young man was on the way to work. While in his truck, he was fired on by some unknown assailant. One of those projectiles struck and killed him. The truck then ran off the road, struck a tree, and came to rest.
The last time that we saw Skipper was around 3 a.m. the day that he died. He was extremely happy that morning and very talkative. Did not seem to have a care in the world, was to report to work at 4 o'clock, and he never made it.
Up to now, the police have, I think, to the best of their abilities, done what they can, given with the resources that they have available to them. And it's been tough for our family because we want the answer and we want it now.
We've pursued many leads that have led us nowhere, and we've pursued some leads that have given us some information, but certainly not any that has led to the identification of the suspects in the case. The case is still open, the case is still unsolved.
The crime shocked everyone in Oak Ridge, North Carolina. Skipper Parker was so well liked, the feeling around town is that the murderer must be a stranger.
From the first day that he was born, he came here with boundless energy. He had a real zest for life, and he made a lot of people very happy.
Skipper's personality was wonderful. He could befriend anyone. He found the good in everyone.
Skipper had just graduated from the Oak Ridge Military Academy, where he'd risen from the rank of private to captain in less than 2 years.
He thoroughly enjoyed the regalia, and he enjoyed the camaraderie and the brotherhood of the Corps. He did very well.
Greensboro, North Carolina homicide detective John Barrow had been working the Parker murder for several months before Skipper's family asked Nancy Meyer to join the investigation. They were impressed by Meyer's track record. In 20 years as a psychic detective, Meyer claims she has provided new leads in 90% of the cases she's been asked to investigate.
I hope that Nancy Meyer can pick up something that they're missing. A clue, a vibration, whatever it takes to solve this crime.
I've never worked with a psychic in a criminal investigation or in any way. This was first proposed by the family. My position with the family has been that if this is something they want to do and it's not interfering with the investigation, and I think it's the position of me as investigator and the Greensboro Police Department will accommodate them any way we can.
Meyer works with crime scene photos first to set the reels of her psychic projector in motion.
When I work from photos with an impact like this, it's almost instantaneous. When it starts to roll, it's so strong, it's like I'm right in the middle of it.
Her first psychic impression was one that Skipper's friends and family had not considered.
He knew who did it. This was not random. It may look random, but he knew them. Actually, it seems like a sort of a running conflict. Money's involved.
From one photograph, a psychic vision of the murder emerged.
And he's looking at the driver, and there's a passenger, and there is someone in the back seat. There are 3 young men there. And he knows the driver, and he knows the person in the passenger seat. Well, all 3 of them are early 20s, 19, somewhere around. They're all about the same age.
After studying the disturbing pictures for more than an hour, Meyer began to describe the killer.
There's some schooling in common between the 2 of them. There's a ring on his right hand that looks like a heavy class ring. And there's something on the side other than the date. It's a symbol that looks almost like a naval symbol of some sort. And the conflict between the shooter and the victim started way back. He seems to have been very jealous of the victim, jealous of the friendliness of the victim, jealous of the victim's success with young ladies.
Detective Barrow sat stone-faced on camera. He does not want to give away just how much the police know.
I don't feel like this is a fully premeditated murder in the sense of he set out to kill this young man. I think he set out to scare him and lost control of himself in the process.
I think she's intuitive, and I think she's perceptive. There are some perceptions, perhaps, that are similar to some information that we already have available, but the accuracy of the information provided will only be borne out based on the investigation.
Meyer agreed not to reveal where the case stands now, but said the killer will be caught.
They've got 2 very good cops on this. You got 2 bloodhounds. They're great. They'll go after it. They're going to dig and dig and dig.
And Nancy Meyer was also able to reassure the Parker family that their youngest son was blameless in the brutal attack.
I don't feel that the victim holds any responsibility in any way for what happened here. There are victims that put themselves in situations. This young man has done nothing wrong. He's basically a really nice kid.
Catching his killer is crucial, but remembering Skipper's zest and joy for life is more important still.
He was so special to me. I think anybody that ever knew him will never forget him.
My world stopped that day, I can tell you. And that's, we have 3 other children, and that doesn't mean a thing. We love them just like we always did. But we have 1 less now.
As the Greensboro Homicide Squad investigates the fresh leads that Nancy Meyer has given them, Sightings will try to keep you updated on their progress. Meanwhile, the search for Skipper's murderer continues.
Next.